Hey, I'm Nate Blackston. I'm here with Brandon, the Ben Harper champion, Lewis. We're the St. Louis Syndicate, and we're here to talk a little bit about NFL Steam. The NFL season's upon us. It's week one. Everybody's fired up. Everybody's talking about it. We've already been making picks. I think I picked a little better than Brandon in week one college football, just saying. But,
Seems like it.
we want to talk a little bit. We're going to start this with way too early predictions. Just some fun things for you guys to think about. Worst to first. It's a huge deal in the NFL. Seems to happen every year. They talk about it all the time. Who do you have, Brandon? Who's worst to first for you?
I think I'm going with the Chargers this year. Not that they can win the Super Bowl or anything like that, but that we're going to see this team that was embarrassed by the Raiders last year. I think they're making the playoffs this year. I think being second in the West is completely reasonable for them.
Okay. I don't really call that worst to first, but hey, whatever you say, man. I mean, worst to second. Brandon just changed the segment on me midway. That's okay. My worst to first would happen to be the New York Football Jets. I do think that they can come back. I think that Rodgers could make it happen for them. Although I'm a big Dolphin fan, I do not think Josh Allen's quite done yet. Aaron Rodgers is a wild card. So we're just going to say Aaron Rodgers.
It's going to be a hard division. They got the firepower.
They do. It's there. It's just a matter of can Robert Saleh get it coached out.
Exactly.
NFL MVP. I went with a little bit of a dark horse. Man, Jordan Love. I think the Packers, the way they beat my Cowboys last year to end it, watched Love's steady progression throughout the year. I think he's poised to have a great year. They've got the tools. They've got great tight ends, great receivers, a nice running back now in Josh Jacobs. Defense isn't horrible. Granted, they got to play against the Lions, and everybody's favorites, the Oh My Bears. Who do you have for your MVP?
I went Stroud.
Yeah.
Not quite as a long odds as Love, but I think that he has the opportunity and the narrative behind his opportunity that if he can come out and he can make a kind of jump like, say, a Lamar did a couple of years ago, where he is single-handedly giving it to teams, that he's going to take that early lead, and as long as D'Amico keeps that defense rolling and they keep winning games, I don't see why he has to give it back to anybody.
Yeah. I love the pick, and actually it's a lot like Love. These guys have the tools around them to be successful.
Right.
And that's what your MVP is going to come out with. So, well, hey, let's jump into our games. We decided to highlight 3 games for you this week. Just touch base on them briefly. The first one is going to be the Jets and the 49ers on Monday night. I know that I'm kind of going backwards here, but Jets-Niners, what do you think, Brandon?
I think the Jets have it. I think getting the 4.5 puts them in a position where Rodgers can do all the things he needs to do, and the Niners can still get out of there as the senior team in the conference and win, but not have the point differential that they need.
Absolutely. I don't see anything wrong with that pick other than I'm not picking it. I'm picking the San Francisco 49ers to just steamroll them. I think Rodgers is injured. He's coming off injury. We don't know what he's going to be. It's kind of an early theme this year with some of these teams, right? I mean, quarterbacks coming off injuries, and what do they really mean for their team? So San Francisco was this close to winning the Super Bowl last year against Patty Mahomes and crew. It's hard to believe they're going to come out and lay an egg on Monday night. Give me the Niners. Let's bounce through. We're going to jump around to Thursday, right? I should have started with Thursday, but I started with Monday. Since Thursday's the night, speaking of Patty Mahomes, Mr. Swift is in the house, and we have the Baltimore Ravens coming to town. What do you got on that one?
I think the Ravens have it. I think at anything less than 3, I'd go with the Chiefs. I think they win the game, but I don't think that they give Lamar the same trouble that they gave in the playoffs, and they figure out a way to at least keep it within a field goal.
Okay. Once again, it's outstanding feedback, but I disagree completely. I am all over Kansas City. I think you're going to see him come out and try to spread the ball around. I think they're going to go back to the days of Tyreek Hill. This new receiver they drafted, Mr. Xavier, is going to run and run and run. And as long as the Kansas City's defense shows up and somewhat can contain Lamar and the Derrick Henry pound game, I think you're going to see an opened-up attack from Andy Reid, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to try to watch. So give me the Chiefs. Last one. How about this? Houston versus Indianapolis.
I am going to go with Houston. I'm a little worried about taking them on the road, but I think that talking about, my MVP shot with Stroud, I think that Indianapolis is going to have to take some time to get Richardson's legs under him and make sure that he can really do all the things they need to do. And this gives Houston an opportunity on, a fairly short number. One of the things you got to watch is, we're talking about a 2-point spread here, whereas out in the world right now, we're looking at about a -3. So you have that opportunity to get that closing line value and say, I'm just going to lay the 2. We'll let everybody else that's showing up on Sunday take the 3, hopefully, depending on how the next couple of days go.
Yeah, so you bring up a great point. First off, I'm on Houston too. You can see the little graphic. Nobody cares about what I think. Tell us a little bit about what you think about your closing line value, your movements there. You were talking about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things when we go through these pools that we've put together with Sandman, that it's so valuable to be able to say, we're going to lock in these lines early in the week and give everybody the opportunity to think these over and watch how the rest of the public and the sharps react throughout the week. So you can keep an eye on it and say, look, if I can get a whole point of value inside the 3, you're already shooting it well better than a 50-50 shot at it.
I think it's fantastic. That's exactly right. And actually, if you're not paying attention to what it opens at and then where it goes, you're in trouble. And we'll talk more in the future about how to pay attention to even lines advanced out into the next week. That's one thing that a lot of times bettors get in trouble with, is just staying focused on the current week, where you've got to have your eyes open a little bit to the future, and it'll help you make your decisions.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to throw one out there. It's not on our page. For you fun kids, watch the Dolphins. I think they're going to be flying around like jets. They're going to be out there like Top Gun. Where'd he go? Where'd who go? Any of you with Top Gun Maverick. You got to watch out for Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and the crew. Tua's going to be throwing it, slinging it around. I got the Fins over the Jags, and I think it's going to be a show to beckon with. You got any sleepers for us, Brandon? Last minute?
Yeah, for that matter, everybody should look real closely at New England and how many points they can get. I think, while it's not a great team, they're still an NFL team. And Cincinnati's going to run out there with Burrow with half an elbow and Chase maybe showing up, maybe throwing on some cleats for the first time this year on Sunday morning. So I'll take the institution and see if they can at least start off strong and keep it close in Cincinnati. 8.5 is a ton of points.
Fantastic. Well, hey, there's your bonus picks from the St. Louis Syndicate. Thank you guys for joining. Sorry we ran a little bit longer than normal, but we had a lot to talk about. Have a great night.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.